Buying a brand new house is extremely exciting, but here's the truth. Builders know that you're gonna get excited walking through the model homes, and they know that they can get you to spend more money than you need to. So in this video, I wanna break down things that are worth spending money on and those that are not worth spending money on. I hate to see people throw money away and spend on something that is not gonna add to your resale value. Now, I know I get told all the time, Lisa, this is gonna be my forever home, but I have sold a lot of those forever homes from many of my clients. So today we are definitely gonna break down the things that are important and those things that you can save your money on. And stick around till the end because I'm gonna share with you the number one most important aspect of building new construction. So let's get right to it. But first, if we've not met yet, I'm Lisa McBride with Sarasota Neighborhood Experts, and my team and I love helping so many of you buy and sell real estate here on Sarasota, Manatee counties. If we can be of any help, just go ahead and give me a call. I always say I'm really old school. I still answer my phone, or you can text me, send me an email, go to our website for information on all the neighborhoods and new construction that we talk about. Okay, let's get right to it. Let's start by talking about trends, because trends in real estate come and go almost as quick as fashion trends do. And currently we are seeing a huge transition from what we saw 5 years ago. What we used to see is very clean, modern, sleek, bright, shiny, very coastal, and now that has all changed because the trends in housing now has to do with warmth, with natural tones, with texture, with coziness. So this is a big trend moving forward, and we need to be ahead of the curve because the last thing you want to do is put things in your home that are going to be outdated in 3 or 4 years. When purchasing a brand new home, the biggest item that you will have to choose that is going to be the most costly, it's going to take up a good portion of your design budget, and that is flooring. Flooring is instrumental in every house, but it is extremely important here in Florida, as a lot of times we do not change our flooring for years and years and years. I'm from the Midwest. Sometimes it's much easier to replace carpet and tile in the Midwest than it is for our flooring here. So typically in Florida, we have seen tile be popular for many, many decades. But the type of tile, the size of tile, the dimension, the color scheme, that has all changed. And so if you are looking at putting tile in your home, make sure that it is very modern. And when I say that, modern and neutral warm tones, typically off-white, a little bit of browns tint, a little bit of a gray tint will work in most homes, but choose large tiles such as 18 by 18, 24 by 24, or also very, very popular today are the tiles that look like wood floors. They will have like a grain running through them. But what's really critical when it comes to flooring, if you're putting tile in, is those grout lines, because I hear this all the time. People don't like seeing the grout lines. They want it to look seamless. Also, they don't want to clean the grout lines. So if you are doing tile, you want to make sure that it looks seamless. However, if you're not somebody that's looking for tile and you want the most up-to-date modern features, what we're seeing is a trend towards luxury vinyl. Now, I've heard people tell me they hate luxury vinyl, it looks cheap, but not like today's luxury vinyl. I can assure you that it looks like real wood floors and you're not getting all those grout lines. So it's very, very popular in today's homes. The color of the flooring though, even though it might look like hardwood, that's what's very, very important. It is best to trend on the lighter side for your flooring. If you go too dark, it becomes dated too quickly. So typically sticking with a whitewash or very neutral browns, or even a very, very neutral grays with some browns mixed in that can go any trend, because you can make it lighter if you want to lighten up the home with lighter color wall features or white appliances. This works. But also if you want a warmer home and you can pull out the brown tones, you can do that with these luxury vinyls. There's so many different shades, but I highly recommend it. Now, the one key thing with flooring that I want to emphasize here, I see this all the time and people complain to me about this, so don't do this when deciding on your home feature. Do not put carpet in the secondary bedrooms. I realize I'm telling you to spend a little bit more money by putting the same floor throughout your entire home. However, when it comes to resale, I keep hearing people always say, oh, I don't like the carpet in the bedrooms, or they change the carpet that was once in these bedrooms to something that's similar but not quite the same as what's in the remainder of the house. And having multiple floors, people just don't like it, and you're losing money by not spending that money up front because it's going to hurt you in resale. Now, the only time I say carpet is great, if you have a second story home and you decide to carpet the second story, that works fine. It's a little warmer upstairs, it just feels different, and most people do not mind it at all. Otherwise, here in Florida, nix the carpet, make sure that there's a continuity with your floors throughout your home. All right, we're moving on to the next largest expenditure of your home. We're gonna talk about the kitchen, but remember, keep watching, because at the end of this video, I'm gonna talk about the number one most important decision you're gonna make when it comes to buying new construction. Okay, let's get into the kitchens, because kitchens are the heart of the home, and this is where we are going to spend the majority of our money. Now again, when it comes to trends, everyone likes to add a little pop of color or to go with what's the most modern. I will say this, if you are someone that likes white cabinets, that is perfectly fine. Although in the beginning of the video, I did mention that we're looking at warm tones. The one thing that I have seen consistently through my 30 years of selling real estate, I never get people that really hate white. If it's between white or a dark wood, people will always choose white in the long run. Of course, some people despise white, that's fine, but that is a very limited amount of people. So if you want to go with the safest, most neutral color for a cabinet, white it is. But what we're seeing today is a lot of browns and blacks, off-white, warm white. There's a lot of trends to this warmer feature. And if you're not 100% sure, there's a lot of ways you can add that to your kitchen and not feel like it's overwhelming. For instance, we're seeing a lot of people on their kitchen islands make it a contrasting color to your cabinets on the wall, or some people will do all one lower and different than the upper. So there's a lot of ways to add dimension to your kitchen and a variety, so that if you decide you don't like it in the future, you may only have to replace part of the kitchen cabinets. I'm going to talk about a color here that has become so popular. I personally love this color. I could see adding it, but it's not going to be for everyone, and that is green. Green has become the new neutral. It's everywhere. I'm seeing it in models, I'm seeing it in kitchens, I'm seeing it on wall features, I'm seeing it in furniture, but green is the new black is what I'm being told, and it goes with everything. And there are so many different shades of green, from a moss green to an earthy green, dark greens, just so many beautiful green features. So that is the color of right now. Again, that might be a little trendy. Some people may not like it. So if you're thinking maybe green, I would add that as like part of the cabinets, maybe not the entire kitchen, depending on the size of the kitchen. Also in the kitchen, we need to talk about our countertops. I was recently watching a video, and I guess the hottest quartzite countertops that are going to be everywhere is called Taj Mahal. So this is got a little veining throughout it, has that brown tints, I'm hearing this is like the #1 thing. Remember when granite was popular 10 years ago and everyone saw the exact same granite? Well, likely we are going to see Taj Mahal be used in a lot of new construction, but may be used a little differently with their waterfall countertops, or maybe the island, you can add a contrasting countertop. If you don't like it, remember, cabinets much harder to replace than countertops. So if you want to be really brave and try something, I would say do the creativity on your countertops. Again, it will be a cost to replace, but it's much easier to replace a countertop than all of your cabinets if the home becomes dated. But as far as your kitchen, there's other things to consider, and these are items that I think are well worth the money. Adding under counter lighting, adding pull out trash cans by the sink. I think it's super important, and a lot of builders do that already, but not every builder. So make sure you know exactly where the trash is in your kitchen. Also, soft close drawers and cabinets, and roll out drawers on the lower level. Very, very popular and worth the money that you're going to spend on them. You're gonna get that money back in resale. So those are the items that are super important in your kitchen. Let's move on and talk about bathrooms and laundry rooms. Where should you spend the money? Where should you not spend the money? Just like kitchens, flooring, color schemes, there's a trend everywhere. And the trend currently is for large walk-in showers with rain heads. And some people love those, some people don't, as well as soaker tubs. Now I'm gonna tell you, I am not a fan of these trends because I think one area of a home that is dated very quickly and that people object when it comes to resale are our primary bathrooms. I have seen so many outdated tubs, so many outdated features in primary bathrooms. Also, sometimes they are very, very large, and it feels like a lot of square footage is being used in our primary bathrooms. I get it, we all like to have space, but sometimes I think we're taking too much space in our primary bathrooms. Also, when it comes to primary bathrooms, a new trend that we're seeing is the LED lights in the mirrors. So we've used to always saw framed mirrors in the primary, very popular. However, having two separate mirrors above the sinks are very much the trend, and I love this trend. I think it's well worth it. People are using these modern features and loving them. So if you can include these lights, it's best to do it while you're building, and people will love them. Let's move on to laundry rooms. Many times in new construction, you have the option to have a soaker sink, cabinets built in. Depending on the cost, I would tell you this is something that can be done after closing. There are multiple companies that will come in for a few $1,000s and completely design out your laundry room any way that you like it. So I don't know that it's necessary to do that at the time that you're signing a contract. Also, they're going to charge you a lot more for it, and it's going to be very basic. If you want more storage, if you want hanging rods, it's probably better to wait to add that to your laundry room. Let's talk about a few builder upgrades that are not worth it and I suggest you avoid. I would avoid having them put out full house water softener system in. Again, something that can be done after closing at a very affordable price. Also, tech packages. They're going to bring someone in that is going to talk to you specifically about tech packages, whether you want the house wired for security, how you want your cable lines and cameras and things like that. This can all be done after closing, and there's lots of companies that can come in and do that. Also, not everybody wants the hardwire security system in today's world. So I would hold off on tech packages unless you want really specific items. Just know in the future, this may not add additional value to your home, or you may not get that money that you put into that back out of it. Now, a few upgrades that I do recommend, again, like in the kitchen with the rollout cabinets, there's a few things that I think have to be done through new construction, such as extending your lanai, adding an additional hose bib if you want one, plumbing for outdoor kitchen. And this is one area, not all builders will agree to build out an outdoor kitchen. Many of them won't. If they do, and the upgrade is less than $20,000, I would highly recommend going ahead and letting them build out your outdoor kitchen. All right, we're almost to the end where we're gonna talk about the number one biggest decision you're gonna have to make when it comes to new construction. But before we get to that, remember there are going to be a lot of costs after closing that you need to budget for, because it's not just the price of your home that you're looking at spending. You're also going to be moving into a brand new home, and most likely you're going to be adding window treatments. You may be adding additional landscaping. You may be adding custom closets to your primary bedroom or to all the bedrooms. These are all expenses that come after closing. And as much as you want to budget for them, pretty much everyone has told me, and myself from building a house, usually goes over way more than we have planned. So put a line item on your budget, expenses after closing, and probably add an additional $10,000 on top of what you thought you were gonna spend, because it sure doesn't take long once you start doing one project to go right into the next one. And you want your home to feel like your personal home as quickly as possible. So keep those things in mind. Let's talk about the number one biggest decision you need to make when choosing new construction. It's not the neighborhood, it's not the builder, it's the lot choice within the neighborhood. Now, this may seem not as important to most people, but lots here in Florida, for some reason, our lots are coveted. If it is a great lot, let's say the perfect lot, typically has water behind it. Those are the most desired lots. But next to that is the lot that has preserve behind the water. So although our setbacks side to side are not very wide, and there's homes next to you on every neighborhood, if you have a lot that has water and preserve, those are the most coveted lots. And in all subdivisions, they're very limited. There's just not a lot of them in every subdivision. So when a home comes up or a lot comes available, these seem to be the absolute most desired, and the home holds its value and resells at a higher price. So lot selection is critically important. After the lot with the water behind it, the cul-de-sac lots with preserve, very, very popular. Also, lots that are close to amenities, close to the front entrance are popular, because a lot of people do not want to drive 10 minutes to get out of a neighborhood, or they like the convenience of being able to go to the amenity center, go swim laps, or play pickleball. Really easy if you're close to these amenities. So lot selection is critically important when buying new construction. Now remember, all builders release lots in phases. So you might see a plat map of a neighborhood and think, oh, that is the perfect lot over here, but that lot may not be released till phase 3. They're going to release lots in phases with the most coveted lots selling first. So if you're looking at a neighborhood and you're thinking, when the right lot comes along, that's the neighborhood for me, let me know. I'm constantly watching the market, doing drone footage, making sure that you see all the lots that are becoming available. So if you have more questions about building a brand new home, how to save money, knowing exactly what you should pay for things and what you can negotiate on or wait until after closing, please let me know now. Give me a call, we're happy to help. As always, thank you so much for watching. And remember, when it comes to buying or selling real estate, always work with your local expert.